Hey everyone, David Hill here, and with me is Cody Bugan. Say hello, Cody.
Hey everybody.
Hey, so listen, Cody and I, most of you know this, should know this, that Cody and I are dirt guys. We love land. We've been in the land development space for almost 20 years now, and we keep our ear to the ground. Part of what we do is networking and following what's going on in the news. And there was an article that came out recently that crossed my desk, and I thought was really interesting. And Cody and I wanted to hop on here and just kind of talk about it a little bit. Uh, I'd say recently this article came back. It came out late last year, so just a couple few months ago, I believe. And the gist of it is talking about how a lot of hip hop artists now are coming out and encouraging people to buy land, and they're buying land themselves. The article talked about the Miami MC Rick Ross, who recently joined a rank of rappers who are investing in land. He bought 87 acres or so in the suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. I think it was for right around $1 million. But we've also seen tweets and communications from other guys out in that world. Atlanta native Clifford T.I. Harris, Kanye West himself has been tweeting about buying land, encouraging people to buy land. So interesting things. What you typically see out of the hip hop and just music world in general is all about the bling and the cash, and yet we've got some well-known, respected hip hop artists coming out and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, let's think about buying land." So yeah, Cody and I want to talk a little bit about that, and maybe Cody, maybe we can start by just looking at what are the reasons behind this encouragement of going out there and buying land.
Well, first, I just gotta say, I congratulate these guys. If somehow they ever see this video,
Yeah.
congratulations. I love it. These videos we often, or at least back in my day, I'm aging a little bit, but some of the videos that I used to see when I was a bit younger, there was lots of cash being flashed around, and I look forward to the day that the video these guys are showing the big pieces of land, and they're out enjoying their land, and it's the what they're proud of, right? Like it's a part of their identity, where that cash has often been a big part of the identity of some of these hip hop artists. But I just found this really encouraging, and I was excited to see that these individuals are finding value in owning land.
Yeah.
And my best guess, or in which is a total reality, and I would assume it's why these guys are doing this, is here's the thing about land: there's a controlled supply on it, right? Don't get me wrong, there's tons of land out there to be bought, but there's a limited supply. There's no more of it being made, so that's a positive. Okay. And which is just the opposite with cash today. We all know by now that the government has been printing more and more cash, and rumors are they're going to continue to print. And so there's no limited supply on that cash. Well, which then leads people to start getting concerned about inflation and inflation happening in our marketplace, in our economy. And if inflation happens, if you're holding on to cash, as that inflation takes place, your cash becomes less and less valuable. Now, on the other side of that, if you put your money into, hard real assets, real property, whether that's gold and silver, or whether that's, some type of real estate, let's talk about land specific. As inflation happens and as the dollar becomes less valuable, in return, your land becomes more valuable because it's going to take more cash to buy that land because the dollar has has been devalued. So I think it's a great strategy, and I was just super excited. You guys mentioned to me about this article, and I honestly can say I applaud these guys, and it's a good play for them.
Yeah.
It's a safe place to put their money, and I think it's yeah, it's
Cool to
wise.
see. Yeah, very cool to see. Let's talk a little bit about, again, we're in the land development space, and we have the cash to take down deals and take on multi-million-dollar subdivisions. And these, just the short list of these names popping up in this article, obviously these guys also have the wherewithal to come up with fairly large amounts of cash to go out and invest in land. What about the guy that doesn't have the war chest? What about the guy that doesn't have $1 million in his bank to go out and buy 87 acres in Atlanta, Georgia? We want to talk a little bit about that, and that's a big part about a big part of our course is opening up this space to people that maybe don't have those those financial capabilities and financial capacities. What do you say to that, Cody?
Well, I mean, so our course, what we coach on, what we mentor on, what we do ourselves, even though we don't maybe have some of the capital limitations that others that are listening do, we have numerous strategies in which you can get into the game with very little cash at all. There's other strategies we talked to you about as far as, friends and family, or going out and raising money, or using your buyers. I mean, we have all these different strategies, right? And all these different points in which you can exit a deal. But what makes what we do such a blue ocean opportunity is two main things. And like actually right now, I don't know if you can tell by the background, but I'm not in any of my normal any of my normal backgrounds. I'm actually in Tahoe right now, and I'm at I'm a part of a real estate group that's a national wide mastermind group, and we're at a retreat right now in Tahoe. So I'm sitting in my hotel room. But um, you know, if I say off market to any of these guys, and there's like 150 guys here, even with COVID, but off market gets guys excited. Majority of guys that play in any type of real estate asset class, they wait for deals to be listed or be on the open market. What we teach is how for you to go find these deals off market through our strategies. And then second part is getting the knowledge needed to understand how the process works. How do you take just a raw piece of farmland and turn it into something that can become a true development, right? So a single family, neighborhood or whatever it may be. And so the two main nuggets that I think are most valuable and why we live in a blue ocean space is, one, we teach and we do what we teach. We teach what we do, is knowing how to find off market deals. And two is knowing how the approval political land use process works. So now is a time to be super excited. I mean, here we got these hip hop artists now buying land. I can tell you firsthand, even at being at this event right now, is that there is so much money out there. There's so many buyers, okay, that have a ton of liquidity, a ton of capital, that are wanting deals. Bring them deals. So you bring them an off-market piece of land that say you don't have the capital to take through the process yourself. These guys are going to be all over you. If you structure the deal the way we tell you to structure it, and you price it correctly based upon how we teach you, the line is long right now of these. There's so many companies, individuals, family offices, developers, builders that are begging for deal flow right now. They're begging to see deals. The beauty is the value you bring. If you learn how to put together off-market deals, these are deals that don't exist if it wasn't for you, because they're off-market. I was actually having a lunch with, just today, literally 20 minutes ago, I was having lunch with a guy that he runs a private equity firm and he manages $300 million. And they are begging for deal flow. I was talking to him about what we do off market and, land use process and develop. And it was a great relationship. We kind of kicked off this relationship, and he's like, bring us deals. They want deals. There is so much money right now wanting to get in the game. One, it's because they're concerned about inflation, so they want to get their money placed. But two is because of the limited supply right now. Is that the demand for residential real estate that can be developed is off the charts because there's such a need, there's such a demand. The interest rates, the way they are, has really kicked that demand off to where it's come to realize is that we haven't generated nearly the supply we've needed to this cycle. Um, and so it's creating this phenomenal momentum in what we do and what we teach. And but the beautiful thing, it's very important I say this, is the strategies we teach, we coach, we mentor on. As I mentioned before, there's numerous points within a deal we teach you can exit, and numerous points within the deal where you can get paid, and those can be at two different times. And with these different strategies, you have very little exposure, if any exposure at all, to the market going up or down, to where you have very little chance of getting caught, I'll call it. And let's say the market does make a move, a shift. It's all relative. So as you're out putting the deals together, you're putting them together relative to the market we're in. So uh, I could ramble on about this stuff, but at the end of the day, super cool. I'm excited for these guys, and there's just realize if you can put off market deals together, which is what we teach, and you have the education and knowledge to put those deals correctly, you will have a long line of guys wanting to take care of you because you bring tremendous value to the marketplace.
Yep. And that's where you'll start seeing the unlock of, when Cody and I talk about making five, six, and seven figures on a per deal basis. It's when you get into this industry of residential land development, even if you're not the land developer, even if you aren't the guy that ponies up the millions of dollars needed to buy the land and construct the subdivision, but if you're the guy that knows how to put these deals together, you've got the education for that, you get them done correctly, and you bring them to these guys that are hungry for these deals. That's where you'll see those big paydays, and you'll be able to, with our strategy, be able to greatly minimize the risks involved in land development, because there are risks as with anything. So really cool. If you'd like to know more about what it is that we do, we actually have a free course that you can sign up for. You can get there by going to vestrite.com/land101, vestrite.com/LAND 101. Check us out. It's a great program. We give you lots of case studies and just a lot of great things to learn in there. So check that out. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. And Cody, thanks for giving some of your time while you're over there in Tahoe. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.